Right, guys, ready?
Oh,
Ready?
cool.
Ready? My name's Chris.
And I am Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast.
And our very own symphony orchestra.
This is what all the cool kids want. This is Junior MasterChef Grand Final.
Let's say finale.
Finale. Anyway,
Financia.
apparently you need to have an orchestra. I mean, I wasn't aware of that. Anyway, my name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast. That was the grand final. And what a grand final it was.
Congratulations, Georgia. We all screamed and cheered and clapped and just scared the shit out of our cats, really.
Yep, and we've already sworn on our PG grand final.
I'm sure PG, you're allowed one swear. Do you remember in the 80s where they were allowed to drop the F-bomb once in a PG movie?
My favourite story about this, and then you want to talk about winning over the kids. My favourite story about that is the Graham Kennedy show.
Oh, yes.
Like, it was in Melbourne Tonight, back in the 1950s and 1960s.
All the kids are talking about
Graham Kennedy. Anyway, they used to do all of the acts used to basically be vaudeville acts, and they used to say the word bloody. Again, that was the big swear word of the day, bloody. And so you weren't allowed to say that on TV. And one of Kennedy's comedians, a guy called Joff Allen, swore on one day and said bloody 3 times in one sketch.
Oh.
And they called him into the
cover
office.
your ankles, ladies.
They called him into the office and went, "I'm got half a mind to sack you." Like, you swore on TV, because he was allowed 1 bloody a week, and he used 3 of them. He goes, "It's okay, I'm going on holiday for a couple of weeks, so I thought I'd use them all up."
There you go.
And again, I feel like that's you using it up now.
Yep,
we're not going on holiday,
way.
although, it is the last episode of this series, although maybe not our last one. We'll talk about that a bit later. But in the meantime, that was a grand final. And before we get into the grand final, obviously, and we're not going to go point by point, because we haven't gone point by point all series.
No.
A huge congratulations to all 3 tonight in that grand final.
Absolutely. Like Philo and Carter just gave you all, just seeing like Philo and his mum. Oh my God, what a sweetheart. And
Now,
him talking about his grandfather and then how they live near an ocean, so they had to eat seafood 3 times a week. So I'm just thinking it was lobster 3 times a week for
Now,
Philo.
controversial statement.
Yes.
I understood the emotion.
Yeah.
And there was a great moment, obviously, for Georgia when her mum came down and comforted her.
Yeah.
But, controversial,
What?
having coached sporting teams with parents. Can I just say, the kids do so much better when there's not a parent hanging over the top of them going, "Come on, you can do this." And look, I think that might have been, for the kids, the worst gantry possible.
Look, I think they were battling against emotion, both because their mum's there, but also they had a live symphony orchestra. Now, I don't know if you've seen a live symphony orchestra.
I have.
Like, you usually end up with some chills and goosebumps, and if you're really moved, the tears start flowing,
I mean, look, that was...
Bit of Vivaldi 4 Seasons
That
when
was...
it comes to winter, and you're just like, oh my God, the stag is moving through the forest.
It was balanced up a little bit by Jocks on Fellow using a wooden spoon to conduct. That does remove the gravitas of the situation a little bit when Jock's using a spoon. So I thought, look,
he's trying to audition for the new remake of Tubby the Tuba.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to go down the Tubby the Tuba route. I love Tubby the Tuba.
We need to come back. I'm now reining it back in.
Anyway,
move away from the tuba.
No, you did it. Anyway, so to get into the grand final, before we get to the grand final, again, we're not talking in any particular sequential order, etc. But I do need to. I'm going to start with something that was a little bit more, not negative, but a little bit more of a misfire.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
We need to talk now.
About the semi-final.
We need to talk about the semi-final, and not just about who went home, although we're going to talk about that. I
might have to use another swear word.
No, we'll ration those out.
Okay.
Kirsten Tibbles.
Wonderful, talented woman.
Now, she is. However, I'm yet to see a series of MasterChef where it's worked. And it's not her ability, and it's nothing to do... I don't think it's anything to even do with her per se. I just... You know how there are some people that would just feel it feels like it might be wrong, or it just doesn't feel like they fit necessarily. For some reason... And again, I think last night's episode also suffered a lot from, and I never thought I'd say this in a million years, lack of Andy Allen. Yeah. I thought that, first of all, the dish.
Yes.
It wasn't a lemon meringue pie. I don't care.
No.
It was a lemon cake with fads jammed in the top of it. That's what it was. Yeah. Or, as a lot of people pointed out, a bicycle helmet prepared for magpie season.
It really was.
Cable ties, replicated beautifully.
You know, you're a kid, you're driving to school, you want both a snack and to stay safe from magpies in September.
Ta-da!
That's what you need.
Sorted. Although I wouldn't put some of them on your head because, like poor Devs with the bottom of it. If you put that on your head, you get cake everywhere.
Yeah, but your helmet wouldn't go anywhere because the caramel would just stick on it.
That's a good point. Good idea. I just thought for some reason it didn't quite mesh. I mean, it didn't,
I think there was a number of things that weren't right about last night. One, the overhyped upness of the drama. Like, it's kind of like, we don't need that. Like, there was just no joy in last night's episode. That's what I found. And, missing Andy, he's got that beautiful cut through with the kids and knows how to liven the mood. And Kirsten, again, you're right. Like, I respect the hell out of this woman.
Well done.
Look at that.
Look at you.
Me.
Catching yourself.
PGing it all over the place. I really respect her, and I want to know more about her, but I don't know what it is if she just doesn't translate or they give her a bad edit.
I feel like they give her a bad run in general. I mean, look, remember, the one that we always remember is Huda and the Chocolate World.
Yeah.
And that was terrible use of her.
They made her a chocolate barrel girl.
That's one of my favourite Kristie moments of the podcast. If you've never heard it, go back and listen to the episode of our podcast where Huda went home in her season. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favourite Kristie moments of all time. Just her talking about Tibbles being a barrel girl.
I know.
Because they made her.
Is it that they don't know how to use women? But they used Amelia well.
And again, they've fixed a lot of that up by having someone who's amazing.
Yeah.
As a judge, of course.
Melissa Leong.
I don't know. I mean, she might be a bit shyer and it doesn't translate. That could be it. Yeah. But I just feel like, and I think the other problem, and you're right.
I think, no, I got it, right? This is what it comes down to, right? Jock had a say. Jock as you have to edit Kristen Tibbles to be just terrible because Georgia's going to become a chef and work with me. She is not going to become a pastry chef and work with Kristen. She's going to...
It's like, no, Kristen Tibbles cannot have her. No, she's mine. Possibly. But the other thing was, and you were right before when you mentioned, and a lot of people on Twitter last night commented, it's the first time they've tried to create tension.
Yeah.
And it felt off for the series.
And a lot rode on last night. It was the last cook before the grand finale. And it, I guess the kids were feeling it, like the junior MasterChefs, but it was just not, it's not what we were here for. We really want to see them succeed. And there was a lot of, it's not the message I was after. We've all been living 6 Tuesdays from last week.
Oh, don't start me. They started off the episode with a reminder that Vienna went home, and I didn't go.
Yeah.
It took me half an episode, and just as I started to get it all back together, Laura and Dev.
Oh, that was that was a shocker for Laura. I feel sorry for her, and it wasn't terrible.
It was for both of them. And they've been the most consistent.
Yes. Those are the two I thought guaranteed to be in the final. It's a toss-up between the others. Probably Georgia. That was mine.
I thought the grand final, look, I really wanted Vienna in the grand final and I thought she should be there, but I thought the grand final was going to end up being Dev, Laura, Georgia.
Yeah.
I thought that was the grand final. And, again, not against anyone else in there.
Not disappointed that Philo and Carter got through. It didn't...
If you were tracking the series and you were looking at the way that all cooked all the way through, that's probably the three you would have picked.
Yeah.
Or maybe even Georgia and Philo would have been a 50-50 call. But, I just feel I was hurt by Vienna. and then we double barrel that?
Look, I just want you to take solace, right? I mean, we can remember a young woman who also got kicked out of MasterChef right at that crucial time, just before the grand finale.
Agonising.
You know, if we remember a young upstart called Amelia, who came back to win.
Literally.
And literally came
Back to win.
So I figured Dev, 4 years from now, he'll be back to win on MasterChef, the adult version. And then Laura, who I presume is about 5 or 6 years, maybe 7. What is she, 12, 13? I can't do math. She will be back on the adult version and she will dominate. And that's all we have to worry about.
And there's an empire. Look, I kind of want there to be an empire.
She's going to come back on MasterChef Senior.
I kind of want there to be an empire.
80s.
I want there to be an empire of kids from MasterChef Junior. Just going on year after year after year and winning MasterChef.
Owning it.
I am here for it because also you get the feeling that now they would have zero care factor when they start to try to up the drama and you go, oh, is this going to work? Go away. Don't care. Don't care.
They'll be channeling Georgia tonight when her mum was like,
you're burning your rice.
Oh, no, coconut.
Not burning, toasting.
Put your pork on, Georgia. Mum.
And this is what I mean when I'm talking about the idea of the gantry. And I felt so bad for the kids tonight because on one hand it was lovely to have their parents there. It was great to have mums there. It was great to do it. But on the other hand, they're yelling at the gantry at you now. And the kids have been fantastic without that voice over the top.
Look, as a young girl whose mum never came to any of her stuff after the age of 5, I just have to say I think it's lovely that your parents came, that your mum was there. You know, my mum didn't come to my tap dancing. I had to do that by myself. I had to rely on another mum to wet their handkerchief and move the lipstick that I'd put incorrectly on my face.
No, I mean,
off the wrong place of my face. No, it's my therapy session. Oh, no, hold on.
Now, I mean, the benefit, Kristie, is that, of course, you know, what I like about Channel 10, of course, is that they felt the need to end Junior MasterChef this early. Because, of course, we needed to get, hang on a minute, let me just check what it is, Blood and Treasure.
Oh, my God. Has a better show ever been concocted for the television?
No, it turns out. Apparently, it feels like a combination of every action show ever made and every Nick Cage film ever made.
I just feel like they've mashed National Treasure with the Da Vinci Code.
100%.
And this is what we've got.
This is what we're replacing Junior MasterChef with. And again, a couple of people commented tonight about, you know, I made a comment tonight on Twitter about TV critics. And I got, you know, who are they, blah, blah, what have they said? Well, the answer is, it hasn't done as brilliantly as it could have in the ratings, but a large reason behind that is the way that a lot of people in TV media have spoken about MasterChef Junior. It's almost in a condescending tone.
Yeah, they don't treat it with the same respect. It's kind of like, come along and see the sweet little kiddies cook some food that only you and I could dream about. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that unique? It's not.
It's been weird. I mean, the thing is, I think a lot of people who came on and discovered, I'm not going to watch it, very quickly started to get into it once they watched it a little bit. And there was, you know, we managed to avoid, 99% of the comments online have been fantastic. There's the 1% who make really dumb comments and, dumb comments, but the fact that we managed to get through most of the series avoiding those is fantastic.
Yeah, and when you've got young people like Laura and Dev who, go home just before the final hour, but who you could see standing up there with some of the best cooks that, have been on MasterChef before and wouldn't skip a beat. It really does underplay their skill and their passion.
Yeah, and seeing we've sort of mentioned it before. These are kids who clearly fit a gifted, sphere.
Yeah. But why not? Because we have singing competitions where we have kids come on.
100%.
And we have dancing competitions.
But the thing is that it doesn't, and this is something that I think a couple of people struggle with the idea of, Gifted doesn't mean privileged.
No, by no means.
By no stretch of the imagination. And I think there are a couple of bits of criticism here and there of people, looking at them as being spoilt and stuff like that. And if you've seen any of the backstories or seen the way these kids interact, I think the way most of these kids interacted with each other, it was nothing but kindness and it was nothing but compassion.
And you could see that there was no sense of
entitlement.
Entitlement was a strong camaraderie there, which and they all, every time you spoke to them, they were like, "I don't care that I'm going home at this point because it's just such a great experience to be in the MasterChef kitchen."
And a diverse range of backgrounds and just a diverse range of experiences. I thought it was...
You've got Philo, who was born in Egypt and came to Australia.
You've got, Georgia looking at, with her heritage and going back with her mum and going back through her grandmother and stuff like that.
Her mum just rocking some hardcore Mindy Kaling vibes. 100%.
But I think it's actually been... And while it's very easy to dismiss it in some circles... I don't think you've paid any attention to it if you just dismiss it offhand and try to come up with it as this, spoilt thing. It's not spoilt at all. Like, are they in a privileged position? Yes.
Yeah.
Does that mean they are privileged? No. Right? Again, it takes people in from all angles. And I thought that they did a really good job of that. Now, the grand final itself, here we are talking about privilege, etc. And we do open with a bloody orchestra. But...
But isn't it great that the producers saw an opportunity in the COVID times to go, hey... There's some, artists who need a gig.
Yeah, you hardly feel like symphony orchestras have been in demand in COVID.
Yeah, so there was an opportunity there, and they utilised it, and I think it gave artists a gig to do, but also created that atmosphere and made it something special.
I think it made it feel big for the kids.
Yeah,
in a way that they couldn't do by normally they would make that atmosphere by having a crowd.
Yeah,
can't do that.
And you know what? I think it just shows how much that they respect the kids, because I presume the adults, all they got was a one-man band.
100%.
Just Dick Van Dyke coming out.
I would accept Dick Van Dyke as a one-man band. He was fantastic as a one-man band. So I thought that, again...
Melissa Leong, step in time.
Step in time. I thought that tonight's dishes... They made some amazing stuff. Let's start with Philo and those prawns.
Oh, I mean that's the rice.
If that child does not have his own seafood cookbook, I'll be disappointed. And if 10 Play don't have the recipes up really fast, especially by the way, Philo's prawns are amazing, but I really want the recipes for George's curries.
Oh my gosh! Just you could see that she was determined to get those finished, even when. She was a bit under the pump, and her mum was a bit worried about that too. And she's like, "Mum, shush." You can just see her just like going, "Oh, I can cook this. No, Mum, I've got this.
I'm doing it. I'm making raita." And my favourite comment, by the way, was when they went, about cooking, curries and stuff like that. And she turned around and she goes, "I can't cook curry.
I've never made a writer in my life.
I can't cook curry." And it was that moment of, you're kidding.
No.
Now, I mean, the other thing we passed over the top of it, and we will come to the rest of the cooking in a minute, but we did pass over the top of the fact that Osher Allen turned up in the kitchen.
Poor Andy, he's obviously been cleared of COVID, but he's still got a little bit of a cold there.
He's still got a bit of Osher.
Yeah.
He sounded very Osher-Gunsberg. And I was worried that he was going to hand a rose out at the end rather than actually, award anyone the trophy.
Philo, Carter, I'm sorry.
You had to leave the mansion. I thought the show benefited from having him back.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't sound like Andy, the energy that Andy brings.
Do you think he'd had laryngitis and they actually got Osher Gunsberg to come in and do his best Andy Allen impersonation?
Which just sounds like Osher.
Yeah.
Perfect. Would make sense. I thought that Andy's energy was, again, it was really good. And Jock's better when Andy's on.
Yeah.
And I thought, tonight when Jock was walking around with the trophy, I thought that was brilliant, where he's just appearing at benches. And I mean, Georgia looked at him and went, "Oh, trophy, okay." Back to what she was doing. And
I felt like I was Philo, shiny, I can't concentrate.
Yes, I was. You can't concentrate, can you? No. Trophy.
I should take it away. Yes.
Yes, you should. I thought that Carter's lamb idea was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that look, one of the only times I will criticise anything that anyone in there cooked. Mm-hmm. Carter, buddy, pal, compadre.
Peas.
We frequently talk about this. Peas.
I don't care if you put avocado in them. Still peas.
No, right? The second you did that, I feared for you. And I mean, I know the peas ended up being good. Yep. But you know what? No. You were done. You're
just lucky we weren't the judges.
Yeah,
we won't shift our bias. We're no Maggie Beer.
Look, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people are happy we're not the judges. Everybody is happy we're not the judges.
Even I am, because I just eat very messily at the table. Like, you know, people used to scream at the old judges. Oh, they would be having full-on meltdowns if I was at the table.
Oh, you've been an amazing judge.
Really?
No. But... No, I wouldn't. No, you'd be horrible. Yeah. You'd be absolutely horrible.
I'd be just eating and they're like, you've got to critique it, Kristie. Like, I'm hungry.
No, let me eat. Yeah. Right? Let's go to eat first. So...
The peas, nah.
No, the peas, you're like, no, you know what? Not doing that.
No,
that's a hard limit. I like the fact as well, and a lot of people pointed this one out on Twitter, the fact they didn't judge the kids in between the rounds.
Yeah.
That was really good. I was worried they were going to put the scores up on the board. The fact they didn't put scores up on a board, I thought was amazingly good, and they didn't score them either at all. At the end, they just said the winner is.
Yeah.
So you didn't get success or failure on a points basis.
It was very reminiscent of Bake Off.
You know, out of my head.
No, I like living there. There are monkeys that play things.
There are. They're orchestral at the moment. Orchestral monkeys. And we have a title. So, yeah, they're orchestral monkeys right now, and it's magnificent in there. But, no, like, I think that the fact they didn't score it was very bake-off. You don't know who came second, you don't know who came third. You can probably guess, but you don't know. And that's the important thing. And I think it's really good for them, too, that they, you know, just know they're in the grand final and they had a good time with it. Yeah,
and it just shows the care and the love that the producers have put into this season. And you know, it's greatly appreciated.
It's been thought.
Like, we have to take a moment, again, to acknowledge the producers and the production team and what they've had to do this year. So they've just dealt with COVID breaking out in the adult MasterChef.
In the middle of their big series.
Yeah. They've, come in and they've, tweaked that to make it work, and they've kept it trucking along, and we all still remember how flattened our emotions were at that time and how difficult life was, and they still kept trucking. Then they come into Junior MasterChef, where not only did they make it COVID safe, they made it an emotionally safe space for those kids.
It was really well done. Look, and we've said this before, we criticise when there's stuff to criticise. I think they handled this series with one episode as the outlier.
Yep.
They handled this series brilliantly.
Yep.
And again, it could show them a path forward, although again I can hear TV critics going, but it didn't rate. I don't care.
No.
I think the show itself was like, and everyone who watched it, I think had the benefit of watching that and feeling better about themselves.
Absolutely. And, it's given us a lot of joy and, an appreciation, like, just to see young people being given a platform to have their gifts and their talents and their skills and their passion to display it on. That's not a football.
No.
That's not a sporting thing, or it's not an inspiration story. You know what I mean? Like, they're just kids who got some skills and some talent who came out and did stuff.
And what I liked was, though, they did have some really amazing backstories there, but that wasn't the focal point ever.
No.
Like, we talked openly about, like, Vienna's backstory, obviously, and stuff like that. Amazing backstory was never the focus. You didn't have the judges going over and going, so, Vienna, when you were dealing with, cancer scares, was this a dream of yours to maybe... They never did that.
Is that what got you through your treatment?
They never did any of that.
No.
And I'm thrilled they just let them cook.
Yep.
I thought that was absolutely magnificent.
Gave us a bit of context, a little bit of backstory, and just let us enjoy what they did there.
Tonight, in particular, really played up again that camaraderie. Like the kids, like when Georgia was really upset, you could hear like Carter was really sort of winding her up. Philo the same thing, and vice versa. Whenever there was a low moment, you've got this, and even at the end, Like when they're lined up ready for the judgment, and Carter was still pumping the others up.
He is like mini Andy Allen, don't you reckon?
Positivity.
He's just a positive kid, and you look at his mum, who was just so proud. Like, and he's come up and goes, "Oh, I think my mum's more nervous than I am," and you could just see the pride just beaming on her face.
And I love the way, by the way, the parents handled the food too, because like they didn't out and out just overly go, "My kid's amazing, how dare you?" Like, for example, Carter's mum, when they said about the puree, she's like, "Yeah, I agree, but I love him and I think it's great."
Yeah, exactly.
But I agree with you. Like, I can see what you mean. It's a bit grainy, but I love him and I think it's brilliant. And and again, the way they did it was lovely. It wasn't a case of, "How dare you criticise my child's food?" It was a case of, no, fair's fair. They've been judged.
I wonder if they had to like interview the parents and work out which one was good on the side of the footy field. Like you know, they had like a questionnaire of, have you ever been ejected from a sports stadium?
How often did you use the rod when we were practicing? Now, again. But I thought that, I thought that all three of them did the entire show a great credit tonight.
Yeah.
And again...
And George's mum threatening to sing.
Yeah, don't... Like, everyone else is like, hug, George's mum, I can sing. And she's like, don't sing.
It's like, Philo, mum, don't cry now. No, was it Carter? Mum, don't cry now.
Yeah, now the thing... And I feel like going, why are they crying? Surely we should be crying.
Right, yeah.
But what I really... Where I think the whole show was won and lost, like legitimately in the grand final, where it was won and lost was the moment that George's dessert failed. And rather than going to panic mode, she went into a cry, got upset, thought about it for a minute, and just went, you know what? I'm going to work with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it a mess. And she just, the replating of it showed a maturity.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was the moment that she managed to win it.
She showed a little bit of the Liv spirit, if you remember Liv from Bake Off season 3. Season 2? Season 3.
Well, it's realistically season
3.
2. It's really season 2 because we don't count the Channel 9 season.
Yeah, true. Okay. So, you know, she made some cake batter. She realised she screwed it up. And then she realised she had to go back and do it. This is all in the grand final.
Yeah, calmly went back and redid it.
Yep.
Like, just calmly. And Georgia obviously got upset, but she's 11.
Oh,
and
my God.
I love when they were talking about that's a lot of money, especially for an 11-year-old. And can we just acknowledge Philo talking about, I'll get this kitchen equipment, this kitchen equipment, this kitchen equipment, and the best dog food I can get my dog.
I can just imagine his parents like, Philo, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, Mum. I'm on the phone to Japan right now getting the Wagyu. I'm going to make the best dog food for my dog, and I'm going to mix the Wagyu with the lobster.
The whole reason he got the kitchen set up.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have a lot of lobster. So lobster dog food. But, no, I thought that all three of them were amazing. But, again, the moment where was that adjustment moment was the moment that I thought was incredible. And I mean, look, I would have loved to see them actually hold the shield up. I understand why they gave them a different trophy.
Yeah.
I mean, partly because I feel like, you know, there was a risk you wouldn't be able to see
the child
behind the shield.
Plus, how heavy
that trophy was about the size of Georgia.
Like when she's
they
it,
made it climb the stairs as well, which I thought was great.
Like, how long did they make her hold it though? Because I could just see her arms kind of shrinking back down. And I'm like, oh, that's gone, dark.
You know what? If they'd kept on doing that, it wouldn't have shocked me if Carter ran up there and just propped the bottom of the trophy up.
Got you, Georgia! And Philo too. I've got you too!
They're both holding it up for her. We got you! Look, overall, this was a surprisingly wonderful series.
I am just so happy that we watched it, and I'm so thankful that it came to fruition. You know, like it just kept us all company on those cold, lonely nights.
And thank you very much for everyone who's listened. We've had a really good response. The Twitter has been fantastic in terms of the way that people have been tweeting about this show. I think it's been cathartic for everyone. I think we've all needed it.
Yeah.
I think that obviously, you know, MasterChef was good this year. I think Junior MasterChef surprised a lot of people, including us, with how good it's been. We've got some other stuff coming up. Obviously, British Bake Off is about to hit Australian screens eventually. We'll do that
at some point.
Eventually, Canadian season 2 might actually make it to Australia at some point. Even though
4, isn't it?
No, but season 2.
Season 2.
Haven't shown that
Foxtel.
yet.
Yeah, that's right.
But when season 4 comes out in Canada, we'll be doing that as well. MasterChef, obviously. I'm also going to sort of put it out there. This is not the end of our Junior MasterChef podcasts. I can't say too much more than that, but just keep a listen out because we'll be back far sooner than you expect. We'll be back. So, any final comments before we wrap it up?
I just hope everyone's taking care of themselves at this, in these unprecedented times as our world opens back up here in Australia. And, thank you for listening. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
And happy NAIDOC week, a traditional, acknowledging the traditional owners of the land that we live on and that this was land that was never ceded.
Exactly. So with that, we will catch you all in the very near future, it must be said. Until next time, I'm still Chris.
And I'm still Kristie.
We'll catch you all later.